Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Srini here, and today we're going to look at the part 2 in our Java conceptual interview question series. So, if you are new to this channel, please do consider subscribing to it and hit the bell icon to get notifications. So, you'll be getting a lot of useful videos in automation, programming languages, and upcoming technologies. So, let's get on to today's topic. Today's topic is going to be part 2 of our Java conceptual interview question series. So, we had started documenting all these questions and we had reached to this particular point where we were discussing upon the abstract. So if in case you have not watched my previous video, I would recommend you to go through it and then come back to this video because this is the part 2 of our series of conceptual questions. Now we will be looking into detail of inheritance as well. But for now, what I'll be doing is that I'll be just covering the encapsulation concept. So we have looked at the abstraction concept in the previous session. Now we look at the encapsulation concept. Now encapsulation, I'll try to have it here. Okay. Now, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation means like you have to protect some data from the outside world so that it does not get modified due to some incorrect usage. So that is how we would be mentioning the conceptual meaning of encapsulation. So it's like the data and methods are wrapped in a capsule from a programming perspective. That is the meaning. Data and methods are wrapped within a capsule so that none of the other entities would be able to view it because it is something wrapped inside, so we will not be able to view it from outside. So how can we achieve it? We can achieve it, can be achieved by private access modifier. So for this particular concept to be understood, you need to understand what is access modifier. So there are four types of access modifiers in Java. So this you need to be aware of. These are all basic conceptual things which every person should be knowing when they are appearing for interview. We have private, we have default, we have public, and we have protected. Now, you have to understand how this thing works. So what I'll do is, let's assume the example of private. So let's say I have a class called class 1, and I'm having some instance variable and some methods. Let's say int a equal to, let's say a, let's say int count. Let's give some meaningful name to that. So int count, and we have one more thing. Let's say a method. So public void get count. Not say void, we'll say int because it is going to return an integer. So here we are going to say return count. So what we have here is that we have two things. We have inside a class, we have got a variable called count, and we have got a method called get count. Right now, if I don't mention any access modifier here, this means it is default. Let's take one more conceptual thing called package. So let's say we are writing this all things code inside package 1. This is small. Let's say there is another file, and this is inside a file called class1.java. And let's take another file called class2.java, which is having, which is actually inside another package called pkg2. Now, why I'm taking two examples of packages, you will understand shortly. Just keep watching my video here. And I'm going to define another class here. And this class C has to be small. This is a keyword. What we have is we have got two files, we have got two classes, and inside the second class, similar to this one, I'll be having two more things, but I'll be giving some different name. Let's say count one, let's say int count one. Now, what we have here, let's say I'm giving here access modifier as protect instead of default here. Now I've taken one which is called protected. So this is public method. This is default. This is protected. And let's have one more variable called private. So I'll say string secrets, just like that. I'm just giving some name here. So since it's a secret, I don't want to reveal it outside the world, to outside world. So I'm going to make it as private. So this is what we call it as encapsulation. And for this secrets, I need to have a method which will set the value as well as get the value. So I'm going to say private set secrets. And since I'm going to set a secret, I need to have one variable which will allow me to set a value. Now just have a look what I'm doing here. I'm trying to have the same name what I have inside my class. So I'm going to say this dot secrets equal secrets. So what I have done is there is something called this pointer within the class. So basically this is referring to the object of this class. So for that class secrets variable, I'm trying to assign the value this secrets, which is obtained as a argument to this method. Right? So this is what we call it as a assignment to this method. So this is a setter method. We call this a setter method. This is the encapsulation which I'm talking about. For private variables, we will be having a setter method and a getter method. So only this class will be able to access it. So I can get secrets. So only this class method, which is public here. Now this also we can make it more uh, encapsulated by making it private. So that way I can avoid any outside world getting access to this method as well. I can just not have any parameter and I can just return secrets here. So what this method is doing, this is returning you the secret. So this is the getter method. So this is how we are able to achieve encapsulation in Java by having private access modifier and its getter and setter methods. And I have other access modifiers also, which I've mentioned here, public, protected, and default. So let's just understand now that we see have seen encapsulation, how does these things work? So default means only classes within same package can access it. So that means within PKG1, only they can access this particular variable. Okay. Then next what we have is, okay, another thing is private. Private means only this particular class only can access this variable and this method. So private is only within the class. It's private. Now we have two more left, that is public and protected. Public means anyone can access it. That's why the name is public, be it within package or outside package, doesn't matter. Protected can access even though if it's in separate package, but it should be inheriting. But it should be basically like subclassed, subclass, or let's say inherited by another class. So let's say there is another class called. So let's say there is another class called class 3, for example. Let's say there is a class 3, and this class 3 I'm saying extends class 2. Class 3 is extending class 2. Then in that case, class 3 will be able to get this count 1 because it is inherited by another class. So this is the definition of all the access modifiers. So I've just kept it very simple and brief just for you all to be able to understand this concept of encapsulation. I hope this was useful and it will help you to clear your next interview. So stay tuned for my next video. I'll be covering method overloading and method overriding in my next session. Thank you so much.